If you've been sending the same resume to 50 jobs and hearing nothing back, I want you to stop for a second. Because the problem isn't your resume, and it's definitely not your work ethic. I know the job market feels rough right now. I know the exhaustion of waking up to a fresh batch of automated rejection emails that arrived while you were sleeping. It feels like you're shouting into a void, doesn't it? You've spent years honing your skills. You've optimized every keyword, checked every box, and you've got the certifications to prove you can do the work. Yet, the response is just silence. Deafening silence. I've been through these cycles myself. I've sat where you're sitting, wondering if I'd somehow become obsolete overnight. But here's what I've seen work for the people who are actually breaking through right now. Let's look at the reality of the situation. Right now, in 2026, 99% of Fortune 500 companies are using applicant tracking systems to filter candidates. That's not new. What's new is how aggressive they've become. These systems are now designed to filter out the initial 75% of candidates before a human even glances at a name. Think about that. 3 out of 4 of you are being rejected by an algorithm that doesn't care about your passion or your why. It only cares about a specific logic you haven't been told yet. And because of this, the average job search for white-collar professionals has stretched to 6, sometimes 9 months. Let that number sit for a second. 9 months of uncertainty. It's a marathon that nobody trained you for. You're doing everything right according to the old playbook, but the game has changed. So if your skills are exactly what the job description asked for, why does the algorithm keep ghosting you? Why are the perfect applications being ignored? It's because the value of doing has fundamentally collapsed. Here's the part that surprised me when I first started digging into the recruiter data. We've entered an era where technical execution is essentially free. Whether it's writing code, drafting a marketing plan, or analyzing a spreadsheet, AI can do it in seconds for the cost of a few cents in compute power. In 2026, companies aren't struggling to find people who can do the work. They're struggling to find people they can trust to own the work. Recruiters are actually drowning right now. About 76% of them report that AI-generated resumes have made it nearly impossible to tell who is actually authentic. Everyone looks perfect on paper because everyone is using the same AI tools to write their resumes. When everyone is perfect, nobody is. And then there's the even darker side of the 2026 market, ghost jobs. Data shows that about 22% of active job postings have no immediate intent to hire. They're just there to build a pipeline or keep the company's brand visible. It's frustrating, it's dishonest, and it's why your traditional production mindset is failing you. Here's the hard truth: technical execution is a commodity, but being the person who signs their name to the result, that is worth a fortune. Companies are terrified of hallucination liability. They're scared that an AI will make $1 million mistake and there will be no human standing there to take responsibility. They don't want a doer, they want an owner. They want someone who says, I have reviewed this, I attest to its accuracy, and I will be the one you hold accountable if it fails. Now this is the part that changes everything. We're moving from a production economy to an accountability economy. If you're still trying to sell how fast you can work or how many skills you have, you're selling a product that's being given away for free by the machine. You have to sell your ability to manage the risk of that machine. But if companies are no longer looking for doers, who exactly are the people winning the $250,000 offers? I want to tell you about a shift I'm seeing with my most successful mentees. They aren't learning more technical skills. They aren't adding a 10th programming language to their resume. Instead, they are positioning themselves as attesters. Look at the people moving into AI oversight roles. These are professionals who might have been project managers or analysts 2 years ago. Now, they're securing total compensation packages exceeding $250,000. How? They didn't learn to code better. They learned to audit the ethics, compliance, and accuracy of the code. They became the human in the loop. Data shows that 41% of people who pivoted into these oversight titles saw an immediate jump into that $250,000 bracket. And these aren't just tech jobs. We're seeing it in legal, finance, and even creative direction. I recently spoke with a former paralegal who rebranded as a legal AI auditor. She doesn't write the contracts anymore. The AI does that in 3 seconds. Her job is to certify that the AI didn't miss a clause that would cost the firm millions. Her pay rose to $170,000 almost overnight. She stopped being the draft person and started being the certification person. Candidates who master this human-AI hybrid model are seeing a 2.3x acceleration in their career progression compared to those who are just trying to be AI-powered doers. It's a subtle shift in language, but a massive shift in value. You're not saying I can use AI to work faster. You're saying I use AI to scale my ability to provide certainty. Here's where it gets really interesting. The market isn't rewarding speed anymore. It's rewarding the reduction of risk. The people winning aren't the ones finishing the task first. They're the ones who ensure the task was finished correctly. So if the reward is moving toward oversight, how does the rise of agentic AI speed up this shift for your specific career? We have to talk about what's happening under the hood of these companies. By the end of this year, 83% of global enterprises plan to integrate AI-only resume screening. This means the first person you have to impress isn't a person at all. It's a bot looking for a specific type of professional maturity. And if you do manage to get past the bot, 61% of candidates are still experiencing ghosting even after they've done a full interview. Why? Because the hiring managers are hesitant. They're looking for a specific signal that most candidates aren't sending. They're looking for a liability sponge. I know that sounds like a strange term. It actually comes from a risk analysis report. A liability sponge is a person hired essentially to absorb the legal and corporate blame when the algorithm inevitably fails. It sounds cynical, but it's actually your greatest opportunity. The game isn't about being faster than the AI anymore. It's about being the person who ensures the AI doesn't hallucinate a billion-dollar mistake. When a company hires you for $200,000 or $500,000, they aren't paying for your labor. They are paying for the peace of mind that comes with having a human name attached to a result. If the AI suggests a bad investment, or a faulty engineering design, or a biased hiring algorithm, the company needs someone to have caught it. If you can prove you're that person, the one who understands the scale of accountability, rather than just the speed of execution, you become indispensable. Let that sink in for a moment. You aren't competing with the AI. You are the AI's supervisor. You are the one who makes the machine safe for the corporation to use. The landscape has shifted permanently. The doer is dead. The attester is the new gold standard. So how do you move from one to the other by Monday morning? I don't want you to just listen to this and feel enlightened. I want you to change your trajectory. You don't need to go back to school for 4 years. You need to change the way you promise value to the person holding the checkbook. This starts with your risk attestation. First, look at your resume and your LinkedIn. If they are full of produced, created, and delivered, you are branding yourself as a commodity doer. You need to start using words like governed, audited, certified, and mitigated. Show them that you didn't just use AI, but that you established the frameworks to ensure the AI's output was valid. Second, look into AI oversight and governance certifications. Not the ones that teach you how to write prompts, but the ones that teach you about AI ethics, data privacy, and risk management. Workers with these verified human-centric hybrid skills are seeing a 56% wage premium right now. That's the difference between a 100K job and a 156K job for the exact same amount of hours worked. Third, in your next interview, don't talk about how much you can get done. Talk about how you ensure nothing goes wrong. Ask the hiring manager, what is your biggest concern regarding AI hallucination in this department? And how can I help create the audit trail to prevent it? That one question will set you apart from 99% of other candidates because it shows you understand the blame trap. This isn't easy. It requires a mental shift from being a helper to being a leader. But the people who figure this out, they're the ones getting the callbacks. They're the ones seeing 28% salary increases in a market that feels like it's shrinking for everyone else. The blame trap is only a trap if you're the one being blamed without the authority to fix it. Start becoming the one who audits the results today. You have the experience, you have the judgment. Now, just give it the value it deserves. I'll see you in the next chat.